This is the cake that caused the burn. It's looking crazy. Skip ahead like a minute if you don't want to see this, but here it is. You can see that there's like, I don't even know what the hell that is. It's actually getting bigger too, this like blister. Yesterday it was, I want to say like a third smaller. Here, there was a blister, and when I hopped into the shower to cool it down, right after it happened, I accidentally popped it, not even realizing there was a blister there. So I'm definitely doing my best not to pop the rest of the blisters. So yeah, I have some like Silvadene, so the silver cream on the open wound, that way it doesn't get infected. I've used Silvadene with success on my other burn marks, including, see it, that little guy there, which I got from a cast iron skillet. So just don't be like me. I don't know how I keep burning myself. I feel like I need a protective suit or something, but yeah, let me be a lesson to you to be very careful in the kitchen. So here is the scene of the crime. I haven't even cleaned this up yet, but you can see that this pan was filled about halfway with hot water. The reason for that is that in order to cook custards, you want to cook it in a bain-marie, aka a water bath. So you have the cake in the middle, and you fill it with boiling water around, and then you place it in the oven. It usually takes an hour to bake, and so because of that, you don't want the top of your cake to burn, and so you have to cover it with foil midway through. So I had the pan here, I had oven mitts on, and when I went to put the foil on it, the oven mitt kind of like tipped this like so. Now there's less water. You can imagine when it was more full, the water came whooshing out and spilled right onto my stomach. So yeah. It's not even edible, that's kind of the shitty part. When this happened, the cake was only half baked. And so we basically left it. We had to run to the hospital. It was half cooked and then sat out for several hours. I only baked it just so I could see what the marble pattern looked like. That way it wasn't completely for nothing, but yeah, like this cake is not safe to eat. Yeah, just what a waste. Like you can see the marble pattern that I made on the underside. So yeah, I mean, this was a very, very costly experiment. Day 2 update. I went to the doctor yesterday and my mom took a look at those gross like blisters. And apparently if it's too big like that, it can actually be prone to infection. So the doctor popped them. Here is what it looks like today. You can see where they popped it. You can also see that the gauze that they put over it's like gross. But it looks way better. So they gave me an antibiotic cream to put on it. I'm gonna do that twice a day. They said once, I'm gonna do it twice just to really make sure it heals quickly. I also drink collagen every day already. I'm gonna up that, and I also drink this like green juice every day. I'm also gonna not drink. I just want this to heal as quickly as possible, and alcohol can inhibit wound healing. So for this week, I can't work out. The doctor said, you know, obviously the skin can kind of like stretch as you're doing different movements, which can maybe tear the skin as it's trying to heal. And also any sweat can trap dirt and it can seep into the wound and the dressing. And then I'd have to clean it and change it again. So just gonna take it easy, rest up, and try and get this wound healed as quickly as possible. Because then once it's healed, I'll need to put anti-scarring cream so that I don't have my stomach looking like this for the rest of my life. Hey guys, so it's now day 4 since the burn. I have been applying the antibiotic cream and dressing the wound per the doctor's advice. This is the latest. It's looking a little better, but I don't know if you can see there's this like big blister. Let me go to my face. There's this big blister here, and so my mom, who's a nurse, is basically like, that's a problem, because it's actually been getting bigger than it was yesterday. So I'm gonna go back to the doctor today, have them pop it, clean it again, see if they have any other recommendations on getting this to heal faster. It's officially been a week since I burned the crap out of my stomach. And I've been applying the antibiotic cream, and this is what it looks like right now. You can see that like some of the dead skin has just come off. I think it'll continue to come off and reveal the like raw underlayer of my skin. So that's gross. All right, we are past the 1 week mark, and it's starting to heal. Yesterday it was like really raw and red, and you can see like the dead, it's pretty gross, but like all the dead skin is coming off. So hopefully, babe. All right, we're on day 8. It's starting to look like skin again. It's just still gross. So it's starting to heal. You can see this, I actually have some ointment on it. The way the doctor has me taking care of it is that I'm applying this ointment called Bactroban, so it's an antibiotic ointment. So I really try to like make it as opaque as possible. You can see there's some parts that are still quite red, but this side is already healing, and it's not super noticeable. So I have this essential oil blend from Joyce of Grumpy Muncher that I've started to apply on these wounds, so hopefully there won't be much scarring. Tomorrow is officially 2 weeks since I burnt myself, and here's the progress. So it's still red, and it's super itchy. I don't really know why it's taking so long. Thankfully, this side is already starting to fade. I've been using those essential oil mixes from Grumpy Muncher. But this part is just still needs to be bandaged. There's also a bit of like weird scabbing that's a bit concerning. But hopefully we'll see how it goes. It's also looking super weird. Like, I guess the hair follicles are starting to grow back. So there's like weird dots going on. Officially been over 2 weeks now. I don't know what estimate the doctor is giving me in terms of only taking 1 week, because it's definitely not quite there yet. It's still quite red, and I don't know if you can see, but there's like a few little specks that are definitely suspect. Like this part on the edges is definitely healing really well, but that's also the parts that didn't really get hit super intensely by the water. So the parts that did blister a ton like are definitely still quite raw. So I'm not gonna take any chances. I'm gonna take the next 1 or 2 days, hopefully. I just like I'm ready to work out, so we'll see how it goes. But you can also see this one is really like faded. I've also started to use these silicone scar sheets. So I've started to apply them here, and then I also can see how much I burned myself. I also have this scar here that was from a cast iron skillet burn a few weeks ago. So I'm going to start using the silicone sheet there and see how it progresses. I actually got a couple of wounds from the tape that I use to attach the gauze to my stomach. So the good thing is that I just realized that instead I have these shorts that are like super high-waisted and basically can just keep the gauze in place because they're very tight-fitting. Guys, I'm so excited. We're at 2.5 weeks and my burn is finally healed enough to go to the gym tomorrow. Like, look, it's not even red anymore. It's like barely pink. These edge parts are basically like already healed skin. And then the belly button is looking way better. So I'm super pumped. I've also started using like the scar sheets here. So it says 3 weeks for this to heal. So we'll we'll see. This is why you avoid drinking. My previously not red wound is now bright red, and that is exactly what they mean when they say that alcohol causes inflammation. Guys, I just did it. I got my long oven mitts, my apron, and I put my cakes in the oven successfully, wrapped them in foil, did the water bath, fingers crossed, no burns this time. Guys, I did it. I remade the cake that gave me my burn. You can see that it's healed quite nicely. It's definitely so much better than before. And even better, I successfully made my cake.